At 0517 local time, the USS Gravely's forward gun mount shudders to life. Steel shifts. Crewmen freeze mid-step. Above the Caribbean, the destroyer's combat net erupts with a single phrase. Condition 3. Set and man all key stations. Nobody needs an explanation. 3 unidentified surface contacts are closing fast from the southwest. Their speed rising, the formation tightening. The call signs flicker on the tactical screen. Sierra 1, 2, 3. Flag of origin, Venezuela. On the bridge, the captain doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't have to. Orders ripple through the decks. Magazines unlocked, safeties cleared, crew on helmets. Below, the Combat Information Center tracks the targets, closing in at 28 knots, bearing 243, converging. The destroyer's 5-in gun rotates just a few degrees, enough to send a message without firing a single round. Visual confirmation. Negative, sir. Low profiles, likely fast patrol boats. The Venezuelans are running light. No heavy signatures, just speed and intent. Whoever's driving them knows exactly how to get close without crossing a line. The Gravely's electronic warfare suite hums online, sensors spreading across the electromagnetic spectrum. Every ping, every emission is recorded. Up on deck, sailors glance toward the horizon where the sun hasn't even broken yet. They don't see shapes, just motion, streaks on water. They've done this before, but not with Caracas this angry and not this close to the edge of international waters. Because this time the order isn't standby, it's show presence. The operations officer leans over the surface tracking display. Contacts are now inside 12 nautical miles and closing. Recommend we mark them hostile intent, pending identification. Copy that, the captain replies. Bridge, maintain course. Weapons, stand ready, but hold fire. Down on the main deck corridor, sailors slide into their stations. The 5-in loaders check the shell feeds. CIDOS crews power the radar-guided gun's hydraulic drive. The Fowl's turret spins, its distinct whine audible even through steel bulkheads. Every ship in the U.S. fleet trains for this, a fast approach drill that usually ends in laughter. But drills don't come with national flags. Communications cut across the net. Bridge CIC contacts accelerating to 29 knots. Understood. Mark CPA 4.6 nautical miles. Plot interception vectors. The helmsman studies the destroyer's heading, keeping her within the boundary of international waters by less than 3 miles. Any deviation, and the lawyers start calling it provocation. On the bridge, binoculars sweep the horizon. Nothing yet, but the bearing is clear. The Venezuelan boats are driving straight for the Gravely's beam. A move that says, "We see you, and we're not backing off." The captain taps the intercom. Engineering, maintain full power on the turbines. We may need to maneuver. This is not a drill anymore. USS Crayley isn't here by accident. For the past 2 months, U.S. destroyers and Coast Guard cutters have been patrolling the southern Caribbean under Operation Sentinel South, a joint mission aimed at stopping drug smuggling routes tied to Venezuelan waters. On paper, it's maritime security. In practice, it's a message. Washington is watching. Just 4 days earlier, U.S. Navy helicopters had intercepted 2 speedboats suspected of trafficking weapons and narcotics toward Curaçao. One was sunk after it ignored repeated warnings. Caracas called it an act of aggression. The Pentagon called it law enforcement at sea. Now, Venezuela's Navy is pushing back, testing the line between defense and provocation. The USS Gravely, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, is among the most advanced surface combatants of Flute. At 155 m long, its Spy-1D radar can track over 100 targets, while its Aegis combat system links directly to U.S. and Allied aircraft overhead. That power is what makes these encounters dangerous. One misunderstanding and the escalation curve is almost vertical. The Venezuelan patrol craft likely belong to the Guy class. Fast, lightly armed, and ideal for harassment missions. They're not designed to win a fight. They're designed to make one happen. Within U.S. Southern Command, these gray zone encounters are known by another term, controlled friction. The kind that can stay political right up until it isn't. For the sailors on board the Gravely, none of that matters right now. The politics are 1,000 miles away, the threat less than 10. Every system that matters aboard the Gravely is now alive. On the foredeck, the 5-in 62 caliber Mark 45 gun hums in standby, its barrel locked toward the southwest. The weapon can fire 70-pound shells over 13 nautical miles, accurate enough to hit a moving speedboat if it ever came to that. After the Mark 15 Phalanx close-in weapon system, nicknamed the Sea Whiz, spins its 6-barrel Gatling gun, ready to spit out 45.00 rounds per minute. It's the ship's last line of defense, designed to turn incoming missiles into metal dust. The sailors call it angry steel, and right now, it's one bad decision away from speaking. Inside the combat center, the Aegis system fuses radar data, sonar returns, and electronic intercepts into a single digital picture. Every crew member can see the same information: contact bearings, range, vector, and speed. The ship's SLQ-32V3 suite passively listens for enemy radar signals, hunting for the telltale pulse of a targeting system. So far, nothing. Then there's the eye in the sky. The MH-60R Seahawk, the Navy's multi-M mission helicopter. Crews call it Romeo. It can track submarines, scan surface vessels, or drop sonar buoys. It's the ship's overwatch and its early warning combined. The flight deck crew gets the call to prep for launch. Rotor blades fold out, tie-down chains come off. Every motion is calm, rehearsed, practiced 100 times before. But make no mistake, the entire ship is one order away from war footing, and everyone knows it. At 0519, the Seahawk lifts from the deck, its twin engines roaring against the morning haze. The crew call sign is Razor 21. Their mission, eyes on, no weapons hot. As the helicopter banks south, its FLIR pod locks onto the Venezuelan patrol boats. 3 of them small, fast, and running in a loose V formation. Their wakes cut the sea like white scars, engines pushing near maximum. From altitude, the crew can make out details: national flag, sensor mast, even individual crew on deck. The lead vessel carries a long cylindrical structure behind its bridge, likely a navigation radar or optical sensor. No deck-mounted guns visible, but that doesn't mean they're unarmed. Razor 21 to Gravely. Visual confirmation on 3 hulls. Formation steady. Speed 28 knots. Copy that. 21. Maintain observation. The Seahawk's MX-20 turret switches to thermal imaging. Inside the cabin, the sensor operator tracks bright silhouettes. 3 men at the helm, 2 midship, 1 aft, all watching the destroyer. Down below, Gravely maintains course. The ship's Spy 1D radar now tracks the boats with centimeter precision, but the crew doesn't lock on. That would cross the line from defensive to provocative. Instead, the message is posture. The Romeo circles Y, a silent warning that the U.S. Navy has eyes everywhere. For now, it's a standoff, but one that's tightening by the minute. By 0522, the range has closed to 5 nautical miles. That's close enough for the Venezuelan crews to see the Gravely's hull number painted white on gray steel, and close enough for every sailor aboard the destroyer to feel the tension crawling up their spine. The bridge makes the first move. Venezuelan naval vessels. This is a United States warship operating in international waters. You are closing distance at high speed. Alter course immediately. The transmission goes out in English first, then Spanish. Silence. Seconds pass. Then the CIC watch officer reports. Lead vessel still accelerating. 29 knots closing to 4.8 m. Captain's tone stays level. Set visible posture. I want all topside systems in sightline. No targeting radars active. On deck, the Phalanx C turrets shift just enough for its barrels to catch the rising light. The 5-in gun locks in traverse, visible from the Venezuelan's helmsman's perspective. The message is clear. We see you, don't make us prove it. Finally, a reply crackles through the comnet. Thick accent, tense delivery. This is Venezuelan Navy patrol. You are operating close to our territorial waters. Identify your mission. The bridge responds immediately. Venezuelan naval vessels, this is USS Gravely. We are operating legally in international waters. Maintain safe separation. The boats slow slightly from 28 knots down to 20, but hold formation now, shadowing the destroyer's starboard beam at 3.66 nautical miles. It's a dance, measured, deliberate, and dangerously close to the edge. Every sailor aboard knows the unspoken rule. It's easier to start a war than it is to explain one. That's why the rules of engagement, the ROE, are carved into every commander's mind. Under U.S. Navy policy, a ship may only use force if it faces a demonstrable hostile act or a clear hostile intent. A fast approach doesn't qualify. Even a radar lock-on might not unless it's paired with a weapon signature. So Gravely holds steady. Her radar tracks, her cameras roll, but her missile cells stay sealed. What complicates this moment is geography. The destroyer is operating 14 nautical miles off the Venezuelan coast. International waters, but close enough for political theater. Venezuela claims extended jurisdiction under its Bolivarian security zone, a unilateral policy the U.S. never recognized. That's why these shadow runs happen so often. Both sides are acting within their rights, both knowing it's a matter of interpretation. Legally, Gravely is clean. Morally, the crew just wants to avoid becoming tomorrow's headline. If one sailor makes the wrong call, if someone misreads a radar spike or flinches on a camera feed, this could turn from a routine patrol into an international crisis in under 10 seconds. That's the paradox of deterrence. You show strength by not using it. And right now, restraint is the only weapon that matters. By 0534, the Venezuelan patrol boats begin a slow turn east. No radio farewell, no acknowledgement, just a quiet withdrawal. The kind that says, "We've made our point." The USS Gravely maintains course and speed, logging every second of the encounter. Radar tracks, communication attempts, power levels, even the temperature of the gun barrels. Everything gets filed and sent to U.S. Southern Command before sunrise. The Seahawk lingers overhead, circling one last time before heading back to deck. Its sensors capture the Venezuelan boats rejoining formation, moving parallel to the coastline at reduced speed. Back in Washington, analysts will dissect this encounter frame by frame. Was it a test of response time, a political signal, or just an angry flex after a week of U.S. anti-muggling operations that embarrassed Caracas? For the sailors on Gravely, none of that matters. They just executed their mission, followed the rules, and prevented a standoff from turning kinetic. But every commander in the Caribbean knows what this really was. It was a warning shot made of motion, not fire. And the next time those boats appear on radar, they might not turn away so easily. This wasn't an attack. It wasn't an accident. It was a message which was clear, deliberate, and impossible to ignore. Venezuelan patrol boats don't just drift into a U.S. destroyer's path by chance. Every move out here carries meaning, and every response or the lack of one rewrites the balance in the Caribbean. Next time, maybe someone gets a little too close. Maybe someone blinks first. Or maybe this quiet chess game finally turns into something louder. So, here's the question for you. If you were in command of the Gravely that morning, would you have held your fire, or would you have shown force? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm curious to see where you guys stand. And hey, if you want to go a step further and support the channel directly, please join the fleet. You'll get loyalty badges, priority responses, and you'll be helping us bring more true maritime stories to the surface. Just head on back to our channel page and get on board by clicking join. Fair wind, sailors, and remember, coffee tastes better after a near incident. I'll see you in the next one.